here. Coming in to do a quick reading. I've just had a message percolating for a few days now, and Hekate has been working with me on this. The collective I'm talking to, you're going through a massive, I already did a message on this the other day, a massive nervous system reboot. And I can feel the impatience and the irritation with it because you've done so much work and you're like, why am I here? And not even that, it's just like the spiritual practices and experiences that you typically have, they are literally making you feel like you're lost in the labyrinth. They're making you feel disconnected from Creator. They're making you feel just like, what am I doing? What is my purpose? Am I making a difference? Am I actually here doing good work? And the call right now is to focus on the work itself. It is to focus on the expression and the joy that it brings you, and to focus on the partnership that you have with divinity and allowing that to come through you, and allowing that to come through you and just to help you. One second. Yeah, off the bed, please. Thank you. Allowing you to come through with the spark of you, the actual origin spark, not the mass that you've created, not the way the world has made you be, not your reaction to other people's projections and behaviors. All of these false identities are being stripped away. And like Hekate is leading the tribe right now, but there's also White Buffalo Woman, there's Sekhmet, Isis, Kali, Persephone. All of it is about a rewilding. It's about bringing the true, wild, divine feminine back to humanity. And there's a huge rise in feminine energy. And so understand too, there is the feminine, the collective matrix feminine, that starts to tap into this divinity, and you want to use that in the physical realms because we are having human experience on the physical realm for dating. That is very good. Like I found this girl on YouTube the other day, Fairy and Ash. I really like her. And there's a restoration within that of bringing in modern dynamics back into traditional feminine frequency and capacity, because we are the DNA gatekeepers. We are the power. We are the prize. We are the epitome of energy that births out and wakes everything up. We are the amplifier of light force, right? And so again, this can be divine masculine, divine feminine, it could be energetics, it could be an energy you resonate with, but predominantly I do talk to souls that have incarnated as a woman and are experiencing their life as the divine feminine and the masculine, but no judgment. And you just take things where they flip and where they go. Now I can see there's a lot of heaviness going on. There's a lot of purging. We can see that in the whole collective. There's so many things coming to the surface. There's so many things just coming up to be clean. And when we have been doing these work, when you've had your awakening since, 2010, some of us, 2014 onwards, you are going to be at varying levels of this. So some of you are really connected to Gaia. And so some of you are going to be light pillars and connected down into the frequency of the earth. And you're going to be transmuting and alchemizing this energy. It's going to be drawn into you. We are the light columns. We are the light pillars. If you found this channel, you're advanced souls, you know what I'm talking about. And you're going to be picking up things from the earth to alchemize it, because that is part of why we're here. And yes, you are strong enough. Now, do you constantly need to suffer? Do you constantly need to not have resources? No. But Creator is calling us right now. Creator is that unconditional love that we came from, right? It's calling us to bring that love through us, to see that love everywhere and everything. If you are single right now, lots of us are, because we're in this age of Aquarian and we're anchoring down different energetics to bring the divine feminine, divine masculine back into harmony, to bring family back into harmony, to bring the natural energetics of the ecosystem as Creator created it back into alignment and harmony. But there's a lot of souls on this planet right now. And we are seeking something, but we are also in the age of Aquarian, where we are going to come back to our own sovereignty, our own self-obsession, for lack of a better word, and our own love of ourselves. And I'm not talking about egoic love and pride. I'm talking about, like, I love myself. I see the magnificence of myself. I'm going to treat my body with care and love and respect and nourishment, because I am a divine being and I am the epitome of love. And when you love yourself, you don't hurt other people, and naturally that starts to heal the vibrations on the planet of violence and darkness and shadow and integrates them through. And that's what we're being called to do. But in so doing that, we must strip away the things that we think that we need, because we are everything that we need. Now, that being said, doesn't mean you have to be alone forever either, like I said, or without the resources. But the blocks in you needing those things so badly are being ripped away from us right now, because we need to claim sovereignty within ourselves. Can I have better words, Spirit? We need to look within ourselves. Oh, we can. It's always an invitation. I say me just because that's the language that I have. But it's an invitation. We look within ourselves. Oh, yeah. See, we're going through a huge death and rebirth right now. We need to look inside ourselves and see what elements do we resonate with the most. So I just talked about the earth frequency. Maybe you resonate with water. And so maybe water purification is a big thing with you. We should be drinking lots of water right now, because it is going to help us get through these energetic downloads that we're going through. You've probably felt extremely exhausted and been resting more, and you might even be going through different chakra integrations. So my low back, my hip have been going through these energetic recalibrations, because the divine masculine frequency is recoding in the planet. It is teaching those of us that are single how to balance out through our masculine and feminine energies, so that we can create structure and we can create resources and we can create a fulfilling life, and that we don't get overcome by the heaviness of the planet, because not everything is our responsibility. We are meant to connect to Creator, source from Creator, and bring and draw that energy down like a battery through us, so that we can stay on top of the fray, that we can stay in positive vibrations, and that we can spread the hope and the optimism and the faith and the joy and the love, the unconditional frequency of unconditional love that this planet has warped and corrupted and lost a little bit. So it's a really big time. At the time of this filming, we are 3 days from the new moon, so you're going to probably already start to feel those energies. Even people that I work in different layers of my purpose out on this planet. I let Creator guide me into what I'm doing, and I have access to a lot of people who would maybe not call themselves spiritual on the onset, but even they said this moon has felt like a full moon to them, because they resonate with different things that happen during a full moon. And this is the other thing, is that we are being called to be our full spiritual woo-woo frequency shifting selves in the collective mundane experiences. So some of you might even be working out in places that wouldn't be quote unquote spiritual. You might not be doing a spiritual vocation, and that's okay too, because that is how we align the frequency. That is how we align the matrix. That's how we deprogram the matrix, and that is how we bring things into balance. And all of this is coming through our past lives. Okay, so it depends on the level of souls. It's collective reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Very advanced souls, some of you have been here for billions of years. Some of you have been here for like hundreds of thousands of lifetimes. Some of you have been through thousands of lifetimes. If you're younger, if you're in the waves of, I don't know how to do all the millennial, Gen Z, all that crap. But if you're in the younger sets of souls in the last, 15 to 10 years of being on this planet, you're going to be more pure. You're going to have way less lives. You might have 10 or 5, but they may have been really, really impactful lives to Earth. And right now, your nervous systems are going through a full reboot. So for those of you that have done the work and are integrated in your shadow self, you might be being like, why am I going back through this? And feeling lost, feeling purposeless, even though you had felt so purposeful even on 3 months, 2 months, 6 months ago. That is all these past lives coming through the whole system. You've done actually so much work that your system has been strong enough and safe enough to hold this recalibration, and you're getting it in a massive download at once. Now, some of those people that I talked about that have only had the few lives, right? And then the people that have had hundreds of thousands and people have had thousands, it's going to be at different layers and levels. But the intensity of the life that you lived, like if you came down, say, during this collapse of a civilization, if you came down during the collapse of magic, the overtaking of the Mayans, the overtaking of the Celtics, the overtaking of the Druids, the overtaking of the Egyptians, right? If you came down through a massive dark timeline collapse, that is going to be a huge nervous system frequency recalibration. Let's say that was the only life you came down for. It's still going to be as massive as maybe someone going through 100,000, right? And so try to just be really, really patient with yourself, because Creator is releasing all the burdens that hold you tied to the matrix identification, right? And it's really easy to get lost in the heaviness right now, to want to eat poorly, to want to drop your structure, to want to say like, what's the point? I can just feel it's like thick and heavy in the collective air, but this is the time to keep going. This is the time to chop wood, carry water, and keep going, because the burdens are being shed off of you, like cellular traumas from lifetimes, like burdens that you've carried in your bloodline. They are all coming off of you right now, and embracing that partnership to Creator, to divinity, to angels, whatever you define as a higher power that is unconditional love, is paramount right now. That is how you get through this. And, you know, being outside in nature, again, water's come up a lot, but even just figuring out what is your element. Like personally, I resonate with all the elements. I've been working a lot with fire and water. Typically I would, you know, have a shower before bed, but I've actually been having a lot of baths. I've been doing a lot of fire purging and firework. So cleansing out like what I'm no longer willing to tolerate, or just writing letters to the universe about my emotions and what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, my perspectives, disappointments, or even accolades of like what I'm so proud of, because all of this stuff is going on at once. That might be another thing you're going through, is where everything's just happening at once. It's like the grief, the excitement, the celebration, all these things are coming into alignment. Your experience, a lot of you that will have found this channel as well in this reading today, you've actually done so much work that you are above the fray, but you still are, you're less affected as the heaviness than you used to be. You have honed in your empathic abilities to not be overtaken, and you've honed them in so that you understand that other people's karma is their karma, and they have to go through it, and you can pray for them and you can give them energy, but it's not your responsibility to heal everybody. It's not your responsibility to heal everything that comes on your path. And you're also just having these really strong energy boundaries where you're like, no one is allowed to siphon from me anymore. I'm not personal battery. I am not a personal emotional punching bag. I am not an empathetic, etheric garbage can, you know. And you're really taking sovereignty very seriously. And some of you, that might look like celibacy, because there is a lot of cleansing and purging that goes on through the womb space and the perineum, and the unification. And there's a lot of promiscuity right now, so there's a lot of sloppy energy, toxic energy, and beautiful energy being spread around, especially if you're single though. This is kind of the collective I'm talking to. Now if you're in a union, varying levels of union, right? If you're in a karmic union and there's a lot of strife or drama going on, and you're going through these system recalibrations, these past life recalibrations, you're going to probably be working with more of the dark feminines. You're going to be probably working with more Kali, Lily, Hekate, even Persephone, helping you to integrate these shadows and clear out this karma and figure out if you were meant to still be with this person. Then there's others of you that are in divine union, and I don't know that you would find this channel in this reading today, because you're going to probably be in the most harmony. There's going to be a lot of frequency going through between you that is very harmonious, very peaceful, very productive to building your business. Confirmation, air bubble. And so we're going to be at varying levels depending on the collective. And the best things to do right now, like I said, get outside, walk in nature, have baths, put like Epsom salts in your bath, put like flowers in your bath, put things from nature, essential oils if flowers gross you out, essential oils, even just olive oil. That's a gift from Athena, right? What have I been using? Pomegranate oil, it's a gift from Persephone, right? And so just using a lot of these natural things within your experience is going to help you connect to nature as well. And meditating, breath work. I feel like I was talking about those chakras integrations with my private sessions and my private healing sessions with people right now, and my own private work. Because of course, if you're in this 5D path, you're going to be doing the work yourself, which is why I sometimes don't post for a very long time. But my spine has been really affected. I've been really trying to ask for a lot of ojas and nectar to come through my spine, and healing to come through my spine, because it just felt really, really stiff. I've had a lot of integrations where my body is changing, but it also is changing for the better, but because of the care and the divinity I'm pouring into it and just staying on course, even when the days feel heavier, even when I'm going through the work, I of course let myself rest. And so this must be a message for someone. I of course let myself rest. I let myself eat what I need to. I nourish what I need, or I eat my comfort foods, but then I get right back on track, because right now the amount of spiritual energy that's flowing through our body, I can't, and trust me, if you're going through a lot of chronic pain or illness or anything like that with this, and you're on a spiritual path, we just really need to eat clean and healthy right now. The amount of spiritual energy coming through your body, your cells need to be supported. So also think of cell food. So think of like chia seeds activated with some clean BCAAs or some lime juice and a natural sweetener. Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt with honey and berries, like nutritious things like that have been really good. And then watch your perceptions. Watch what you're putting in your body and your mind, your emotions. Watch the conversations that you're around, because also notice them, because they're going to give you keys and insights to the past life stuff that is healing through you, right? And so there's big dark timelines healing right now to do with trafficking, to do with slavery, to do with child slavery, to do with sex slavery. There's just all kinds of really, really dark, traumatic past life timelines that are healing through the collective right now. And that's why our nervous system has just been rocked. So if you like yoga, please do yoga. If not, gentle stretching, definitely movement to get this through the body. I know that I'm really happy that my spiritual path took me through personal training first, because I was able to really structure movement programs that helped to move this energy through the body and help me to not deteriorate my cells. Because if we aren't caring for our body vessel properly, and then we're calling all this spiritual energy through it, you can actually deteriorate your cells more, which has to do with aging. So animals that are coming up right now, so cats are really, really important right now. So cat energy, you might want to look that up, cat messages and cat energy, and see what medicine that the cat energy has for your ecosystem. Sekhmet's coming through, so some of you might be high priestess or high priest of Sekhmet lineage. Then we have the frog here. Then goblins, goblin energy. So goblins can be really misunderstood creatures as well, like almost like impetuous little children. I don't know if you've ever seen The Labyrinth or The Dark Crystal, but it's like I think it was like Brian Ferris maybe made that. He was one of the artists with Jim Hansen. Anyway, if you really resonate to the fairy realm, that's coming up right now. Obviously humans devastated the fairy realms and the forest and things like that. So those timelines are healing as well, like the very initial woundings and misuse of nature, or the violence against nature, like all of that stuff is coming up right now. I get so much energy at once, it really is hard to pinpoint down because it's collective reading, but whatever is resonating for you right now. Help is on the way, accepting help. I can see some of you praying feverishly over your own life. And then also remember anything that upsets you, anything that calls to your heart, anything that speaks to you, makes you emotional, especially as an empath, that's a call to prayer. Okay, and so even if we can see something going on in the collective that we feel really powerless about and we think is horrific and awful, you're a light worker who's being brought to that for a reason, to pray over it. So pray over it. You could even take a picture of it or print out something of it and put a crystal on it and ask to be cleansed, like Creator's light to come and cleanse and purify it. That's how we're bridging spiritual energy into the physical, which is a necessary thing. That's why we're here. That is part of the reason that we incarnated right now, and we are clearing out massive amounts of fear patterns in the collective right now. So we just have to hold the line. And holding the line, you're a light column anchor. So if you work with ether, that's going to be pronounced for you. You might be a weaver. You might work with all the elements. You might resonate to ether, air, water, fire, earth, and they might all come through you. I know I have a resonance to all of them, but I know when my gifts first started opening up, it was connecting to the ley lines. The ley lines are the energetic essence and frequency of the earth. And so tapping down into the ley lines and connecting to power points, looking up different power points in the world, like, Oracle of Delphi or the Pyramids of Karnak, anything in Egypt, there's just different places that you once you start looking for them, you might resonate. Like even just open up Google Maps and just start playing around in there, because your own being, your higher self, your vessel is going to guide you to those places that are from your past lives, and those are going to be power spots for you, and you can connect to them by plugging in your energetic essence into the ley lines. Always make sure you're plugged into your soul star above your head as well. You want to be plugged into divinity when you ground into the earth as well, because there's a lot of corruption on the earth, so you want to keep a purification channel going on with it. But doing that, you can find these power spots, and you can lean into these power spots to help give you fortitude, to help give you strength when things get too heavy, when there's something coming through you that needs to be cleaned. Like I said, it's not our full responsibility to heal anything and everyone, but unfortunately the ones of us that are doing the work and are going through this stuff, we are going to be the alchemizers and the transmuters of some of the bigger pockets of things, and those are naturally going to come to us through these elements. And so really figuring that out is going to help to clear, like, if you're trying to manifest love or you're trying to manifest money, really understanding what is your energy and what is not, and how to clear it out really, really quickly when you just need to bridge something by bringing divinity into it is going to be really helpful. Okay. Also to focus. So I know for the last 3 to 6 months, I've been talking about visioning. And again, these are all timeless. So whenever you find them, this is when they're activating in your field. This is when you're removed through your initiations to come to this point of frequency and healing in your energy. It doesn't have to be all at the same time. That's the beautiful symphony of life that we're going through right now. But I've been talking about for the last 6 months or so about really being clear in your containers. What are you trying to build? How do you want to spend your money? How do you want your relationships to be? What frequency do you want to live in? What kind of person do you want to be? How does that person talk? How do they walk? How do they think? How do they spend their money? How do they spend their weekends? What kind of relationships do they have? What kind of partner do they have? Right? And so really building out those containers with your words, with your art, with your voice, so that creator and the universe knows what it is that you want, and then you surrender everything, because creator, the universe, unconditional love, the frequency of energy that we came from, of creation, is the how. It is your algorithm, it is your marketer, it is your matchmaker, it is everything. And so connected to divinity, making these containers and then surrendering the how, that is also very, very, very important. And before you found this reading, you're going to be going through a phase where you're going to be really clear about that. A lot of empaths came down here and it got so heavy. We were just anchoring the frequency of love for a while, and we didn't want anything, because we were like, oh God, look at all the greed on this planet. Look at all the toxicity on this planet. Like, I don't want anything. And so that is coming to an end. Right before you find this reading, you're going to know that this reading is for you because of that. You're going to be making these containers and getting really clear about what you want, and really understanding that the universe brings you what you align with in your frequency. And then as you go through this heavy pocket and these alchemization points that you are meant to help your ray of the collective with, you are going to need to focus on that. So scripting is really important, having it written down. I personally like to keep it in my phone, because if we're going to have an addiction, because our phones are very addicting, I'm going to make the addiction be working for me. So I have oracle decks on my phone, I have prayer books, I have different stuff that keep me connected to Creator and the light, and then I keep beautiful little notepads with soul inspirations and things. I might write it out by hand first and draw it out by hand, but then I transfer it into my phone so that I have it with me, and when I'm having a heavy day or heavy period, or I'm forgetting what is going on around me and where I'm headed, I come back to that and be like, no, this is where I'm headed. This is what Creator birthed through me. This is the vision that we are manifesting, and it helps to pull me back on track. So someone else needs to be doing that as well. The right rose of Shaknaka. So we have a lot more support and help than you even realize. The divine feminine is moving through the planet right now, and she is rising. Ma is rising. I know I went to a static dance the other night, and so again, remember talking about moving that energy through the body, and I just asked Ma to move through me, and it was the most magical, beautiful experience. I went through about, 100 different past lives in that one experience, and through all the elements, and it was just such a healing frequency and capacity for me to be in. And this is that Shakna energy, right? And you can see it: self-discovery, divine feminine, inner peace. That life force is rising inside of us right now, whether you resonate as a male or female. It's rising inside of us to wake us up, to wake up our hearts, so that we all begin to care about life again, right? And that's what's healing from the past lives too. It's like when we carry around all this heavy trauma from the dark ages, we're going to be burdened, and we're not meant to be burdened. We're meant to be light beings. And part of this is also taking back the corruptions on the planet. And so the planet has become corrupted. Things have become corrupted with dark energy or violence, or evil, right? It's running amok on the planet. And so these things are being taken back. And the white rose of Shukna, so like rose frequency energy, rose priestess energy, flower of life energies, these are billions of years old, of ancient traditions that were wiped sort of from the planet. There was still keepers of these traditions, and they're rising back. And sacred geometry is all throughout nature. That's why they're trying to control the food right now. That's why they're trying to strip nature from us. That's why they're trying to enact their own creations. And everything in the matrix is also a frequency, right? And if you look at it, especially modern times, how like aesthetic it's getting and how clean, yes, and modern, I like some of that too, but it's so neutral. There's no brightness, there's no color, there's no like, just go look at the old architecture and buildings and the old mandalas and the beauty that we've created into that. That's what's coming back through you, and that's going to come through rose energetics. And right now some of you might want to work with the white rose energetics of Shukna. So Shukna, maybe I'm not saying that right, but white rose energetics, you could just lay down and take some nice deep breaths through your spine, and you can really just feel that white rose energetic overlaying over top of you, and it'll have a lot of golden light, and that will be cleansing and purifying any poisons that might have come into your system, because that's also another thing that's going on right now. There's different layers of addictions that are being stripped off people, and if you are a healer, you are going to be working with people that have addictions, and they might have entities on them that might then try to come onto you, and you have to be really mindful of that. And there almost has to be a savagery right now where you protect your energy super fiercely. Like, we can love people, but that doesn't mean that they get full access to our life, and it doesn't mean that they get full access to our energy field, and it doesn't mean that we are the savior, be all healer of them. Like, we need to be sending them to divinity, to creator, because that's how all of us get through all things, right? Okay, I just want to pull a few more cards. I can see even though this stuff is going on for you right now, there's a lot of these. That's what these challenges and tests are for. They're for calling out your inner strength. They're for calling out essentially your inner peace in the end, because even if the challenges don't change, you can come into contentment and peace with your life right now. We can also, this is another one that's going through the collective right now, of gratitude, of understanding that we can love our life and be super grateful for where we are, and we can want more, okay? And so this is like, to me, this is the fires of Bridget. This is the inner strength, where it's like, and that communication with the universe, communication with containers by creating the containers, and communication with divinity to say, like, yes, I am so happy and grateful for this, but I also want this. I also want this experience. I also want more. And it's okay to want more resources so that you can help more people. And then staying grounded with that, because the ego will come up in different layers and different levels and need to be rechecked again back into sovereignty and back into spirit, especially as we clean out these past life integrations, because you're going to get integrated back with all of the lessons and the accolades and the skills and the strengths that you covered in those past lives. You're going to want your system's going to be integrating those as well, and that's might be when you're called to rest. So if you need to sleep, because that's when you're integrating things like this. But you're also just going to need to check your ego a little bit to be like, okay, I want these resources, and yes, I can enjoy life, and yes, I'm allowed to enjoy opulence and pleasure, but I'm also partnered with divinity, and I came here to make a difference. And there's resources. How can I make a difference in the lives of others, in the lives of animals, in the lives of the earth, whatever it is that speaks and calls to you? Okay? And this is the inner strength and fortitude you're going through right now, because there's some of you that the fire horse here, you could feel it. You can feel it right now. All of this good is coming to you, this wealth, this abundance, this love, this beauty. But then you're also like, what the hell? I thought it would be here by now. And now I'm going through more challenges. What is happening? It's because you need this inner strength. You need this boundaries. You need this fortitude. You need this insight. Because certain people are being, how do I say this? Certain people are being deceptive around you. That's for some of you. But like, also, we're just taught to live in an era of deception. And those of you that have found this reading, you're not like that. But other people still are. Okay, and you are going to attract your vibe of what you are, but also think of like light also attracts bugs. Okay, and so you really do need to understand where you end and where another begins, and you also need to understand when someone is faking, or when someone is being deceptive, or when if someone is overtaking, and when you can't overgive, so that you don't lose all the resources that are coming in for you. This is a strengthening to be able to hold all the resources and the love and the beauty coming in for you as well. Okay, so you got Mother Mary here, love and peace. Oh gosh, yes, Mother Mary. So that white rose again, she's definitely of a white rose lineage, also blue rose, I would say. I always see her with baby blue light, and you can even see the flower of life here behind her. Maybe, where's the cards? And so the flower of life, those are the lineages of priestesses that lived on this planet, and the flower of life was the flower of that era, or that environment, or that particular place. So that's part of the flower life. There's so much more to the flower life. It's like the actual nucleus of creation, and you can use it for healing. But you can also see these Celtic knots behind Bridget, like those are also part of like it almost looks like the flower of life mirrored, right? And so this was just different lineages and different eras bringing through creator and spirit. And some of these might be some of your past lives. Okay, some of this might be resonating to that, but Mother Mary is just going to help you integrate all of these energies with love and peace. She's going to show you what you specifically need to do to calm your nervous system down. So lean into her, ask her, pray to her, ask for guidance when things get too heavy, when things get too hard. Call on her. I'm also been staring at Sekhmet this whole time as we do this as well, and she's bringing in a strength and an independence and a fierceness, but also a softness, so that you can be interdependent, so that you can still build community, you can still welcome other people in, because that's something that we're losing, is the ability to talk to other people. Please remember that a majority of people on this planet are good. They've just been nudged in the wrong direction, and we are being taught to treat everyone like they're the enemy, or we don't know what's going on, especially as this heaviness comes up, especially as some of these more dark, toxic things come to the surface of the collective and humanity. We kind of get to start to be like, oh, like that's going on, well, who can I really trust, right? But like, just lean into Mother Mary. She will help to really purify that system of insight for you, of knowing who and what you can trust, your BS detector, if you will, and just knowing in your bones what's real, especially as all the deep fakes come out and the AI and all of that stuff. Just tune in, because your intuition and your partnership with divinity, again, is going to guide you through all of this. It is going to give you that sixth sense of knowing, and I know you already know this because you've honed it in, and now you've honed it in for so long, ever since your first awakening, but now you're just, it's going into even deeper layers, because we have to deal with the tech that's coming as well. Okay, so I'm going to pull these last three cards. Open communication. Okay, open communication, also Mercury saying, like, get things off your chest, like write letters to the universe, write letters to creator, and get it out. Like, what are you resentful of right now? What are you upset about? What is going on inside of you? There might even just be emotions you don't even know why you're feeling them, because of your past lives. Like, when you clear past lives out, because I'm an Akashic Records keeper and I do this work, so if you ever want a one-on-one session, I'm available to help you. But when you do this work, you go through points of rage and you go through points of upset that absolutely make no sense to the day that you just had, or the life you're living right now, because you're clearing out stuff that you might not even have words for yet, because it's from deep, deep, deep past lives. And you don't need words. You don't need a story for everything. We don't need to attach an ego definition to everything we're doing. Sometimes we just need to release it. So don't be afraid to feel. And part of that feeling, I love writing universal letters and things. And especially if it's like purging something that I'm angry about or toxic about, then I just burn it after. Just get rid of it. You don't need to keep it all either. Sometimes I like to keep it till the end of the year, just so I can see how much I've overcome and how much I alchemized and transmuted, because sometimes if I don't look back, I'll just kind of forget and keep going, and then maybe even think I didn't do enough, right? But you got to be really easy on yourself, because you're like, the magnitude of change you're going through right now is going to bring out the strongest version of yourself, the most peaceful version of yourself, but you are going through a death, but Creator's got you. Remember the times that when you feel the most alone and when you feel the most lost in the labyrinth, that's when you are the most guided and the most held, right? And so whenever you feel lost, like, just do the thing, just act. Like, I have been going through my own work right now. My kitty's being silly. I've been going through my own work right now, and I was like, I don't know, like, I don't feel in the space to do readings for people. Like, I don't know, but then every time I just show up and I just I ask Creator to work through me and give me the best energy for the people that I'm working with, it always works out to the benefit of both of us. So just remember that. And that's communication as well. Communication of being honest with yourself about what you're feeling and not judging it. And maybe just if it doesn't feel good or you don't like it, let it go. Surrender it to Creator. Okay, you are devoted to love, and I can see that. If you found this reading, I know that you're devoted to love. I know that you're devoted to being your best self. So just do not give up. Whenever it gets the hardest and the most exhausting, that is the 11th hour right before the change. So just don't give up. If you need to rest, if you need to eat the comfort foods, if you need to take a break, but do not give up. And you can lean into Hanuman. Hanuman is one of the most devoted angelic beings to Krishna. If you want to look up some of his stories, he's just so wise and powerful and beautiful and loving, and just is so devoted to unconditional love and Creator and to the Lord that his love, his presence just heals massive amounts of things around him, and it allows him to do impossible miracles in everything that he's doing and everything that he shows up in, and it's always guided by love. So he is helping you to open your heart. He's helping you to release any pain, again, from those past lives. You might still be carrying pain. There could be pain you're carrying from this life, because that is also going to be healing right now. Everything from our childhood. So it's really important to work with your inner child, and Hanuman can help you with that. Okay, we got Saint Germain and the Violet Flame. So that's another really beautiful purification. So right before bed or in the morning, you can imagine this beautiful white, gold, sparkling, diamond bright light flame coming around you that has flecks of purple and gold just kind of like appearing and then disappearing in it. Or it could have just like a little bit of purple around the periphery and the edges, as if you put like a tiny drop of food coloring into that white. It is such a beautiful flame of purification. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to clean yourself. Like just like you wouldn't not shower every day, you want to clean your energy every day, especially if you're doing this work. Remember those bugs to the light? You really want to make sure you're purifying all of that, because you are going to be tested. The darker energies are going to want to feed off of you, especially because we're in spiritual warfare right now. So some of that side is wounded as well, and they need to be recovered and recuperated. So they might try to come for your light. They also just might be a karmic test. They could just be a test from something else that said, ooh, yummy, juicy starseed, you know? So just really making sure you're purified and clean. Or you could do that white rose right before you're falling asleep. Imagine that white gold rose coming out of your heart, or coming down through your crown and coming down through your whole body all the way to your feet, cleaning you out. You might even see this golden light coming through. You might do a golden rose light, or you might just see this beautiful golden light of Hanuman coming through your vessel and your being, mixed with that violet flame. And then Rumi, mystical knowing. And so Rumi reminds us to look for a Creator, which is love, unconditional love, in many places. Look for, like, I have my books that I'm going to read before bed. I've been really into this girl. If you want to go look her up, she's got a YouTube channel, and her books, Zantanta Ray. She has the Seraphim. She channels from the Seraphim angels, and oh my gosh, so beautiful, so loving, so activating. But Rumi reminds us to like look for the light in the dark places, and that can be through books, through works of art, through words. If you don't love to read with like physical books, like it's all over YouTube, look up some beautiful, beautiful things. I know right now in my city, Rumi's coming and bringing, there's like a spherical show that we're going to be going to, me and some of my girlfriends. And so we're going to get that connection with Creator, and they're starting to mix these things with like mandalas and different sacred geometry, which is really, really beautiful, because Creator still speaks through us through everything that's going on. Creator still has a plan. Creator still has guidance in this plan. Creator planned this plan for eons to free humanity, and we're all participating in it, and we're all going to be okay. And last cards fell out. Hilaron, Divine Emergence, and Joan of Arc, Voice of Truth. And so Hilaron's helping you remember your lives from Lemuria, from Atlantis. They're going to help, Hilaron's going to help you with any deep, deep, deep healing that you might need right now, any deep personification and clearing, and then bringing back through the highest expression, especially from the highest, your higher selves, of really exemplary lives. So like when you were a high priest or a high priestess, or you worked with Merlin, or you worked with Hilaron, or you worked in Lemuria or Atlantis, or you were a healer, where you worked with Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, maybe you worked with Jesus. again, this is a collective reading, so there's a lot of past lives clearing and coming up right now. Like, it's actually, I should just try to do specific. Maybe my next reading I'll just do one specific lineage of past lives that's healing right now. But there's so many, like, there's lives healing from the Wild West, because it was very dangerous in those times, like, and there wasn't a lot of law, so people would just, you know, unalive people and stuff, and for over like property disputes and whatnot, right? And so there's all of these traumas and these wounds from humanity that our ancestors went through, that we went through, that are all rippling through the collective, and you are the physical representation of your bloodline, so unfortunately they do have to come through you to heal. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that reading. I know it was a lot. Just trust that my soul is talking to your soul, and that there's so much of you that understands this, and just in finding this reading, just in coming across this, you're being activated, you're being unlocked, you're being healed. And if any of this resonated with you and you want to get a more personalized reading to see what lineage you're going through, what specific guidance your guides have for you, I'm happy to do that. You can email me. There's a link in the description with all the information. Me or my team will set you up in the next 48 hours. And then just Joan of Arc, remember to be brave. Fortune favors the brave. Focus on your purpose, focus on your vision, write it out, create those containers so that when you do feel lost in the labyrinth, you can go back to something and say, no, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm headed. Creator's helping me build this. I am safe, I am grounded, I am okay. And then also, voice of truth, be yourself. Be yourself. That's what people need right now. People need you to be yourself, to find relationships, to find our true soulmates, to find our true soul tribe. People need you to be yourselves, to give them permission to be themselves. Everyone's looking for healing and comfort, and your true expression, your love, your vulnerability gives them that. Even when it feels hard, even when the whole world is telling you to put on a mask and act differently and to don't be yourself, do it anyway, okay? Fortune favors the brave. I love you. I hope that you have the most wonderful night and day. I love you with my whole heart, my whole being. And I will see you on the next one.